Hello and welcome to Rooted in Yad, where I talk about what it's really like living in Jamaica so that you can know what to expect and how to thrive if you are thinking of making the move here. And today we are getting into part two, the last part of the things that I really love about Jamaica. Because as I said before, after creating a whole series on all the things I find frustrating, I thought it would be at least fair to create a small series on all the things that I love about Jamaica. Okay, so just to get into it, the fifth thing that I really love about Jamaica is the access to fresh foods and healing herbs that are here in abundance. And as I say this, I literally just finished eating a piece of plantain. I'm about to eat more plantain after this video. My husband's just frying them up. But, because Jamaica, I guess, is in the Caribbean and the land is so fruitful here, there's just so much fresh things to eat, especially if you can plant it yourself, right? But like there's so much. There's mangoes, obviously, which I also have a mango in my fridge right now. But there's actually a variety of mangoes, which I didn't know. So there's the typical like Julie mango and East Indian mango, but there's also like green gauge mango, otherwise known, I guess, as common mango, or I think they said blackie mango, something blackie, something with blackie in it. Which I find is just as good as the other mangoes. It's actually my favorite mango. That green gauge mango I'm mentioning, it's actually like, it's usually smaller. It's about the size of the palm of my hand, which I really like because like I have small hands. I'm like 5'1.5". I'm kind of little and I have small hands, and I like when something can actually fit in my hand and it's not too big, and it's too big and my hand hurts. So that's one of my favorite mangoes. But there are apparently these really big mangoes here called Jam Belly Full. Because I guess it jams your belly full because there's just so much on it. I actually haven't had that mango yet. I am on the lookout for it. I would really like to have it, but I haven't had that mango yet. But there are other mangoes too. These are just some of the ones I'm mentioning. There are a whole heap of other mangoes too. But then there are like, other fruits and stuff. So there's things like breadfruit, plantain, which I just mentioned that I'm about to eat. Jackfruit, star apple, June plum, papaya, guinep. So guinep is like it's like a grape with a harder shell. So you have to like bite into it, and then it has like the flesh of a grape. But then there's a big seed on the inside, so you kind of have to like suck off the flesh and then spit out the seed. But it's really good. I like it. And then there's kneesberry, which actually kind of tastes like cinnamon sugar. And that fruit can get really sweet. If you let that ripe up, that fruit can get it can get really sweet. But it is delicious. And then there's also things like, sweet sap and sour sap. And I actually don't think I've had those. I would like to, because clearly I'm here. I would like to try all the fruits. But there's a whole different abundance of fruits here. There's also a watermelon, but instead of it having a red fleshy inside, it has a yellow fleshy inside. My husband said he used to have those. I've never seen them. Maybe they're still here. I don't know. If someone knows where to find those in Mobay, please hit me up, because I would like to try those as well. He said they're actually sweeter than the regular watermelon, so I would like to try that. But the whole point is there are like so many different fruits here that you could try, that you could eat. There's even more fruits than what I listed, and I think that's amazing. I could never have access to such a variety in Canada, right? And another thing is that the fruits here are sweeter, right? I guess because, they have... See, in Canada, some of the fruits, like mangoes, they're all right, but they're more sour than sweet because... I guess, they have to get shipped, and so they're force ripe instead of ripening naturally. But then over here, I guess, everything, it's natural. It ripens naturally, the fruits ripen naturally, and I guess they have time to get the nutrients from the soil that they need. And the fruits here are just so much more delicious, so much more sweet, which I really love. And I think that's quite awesome to experience. But then there are also the healing herbs, okay? So I don't know about all the plants. I'm actually going to be interviewing people later on this channel about the herbs and plants and stuff that are helpful in healing, because I don't actually know much about that. I will let the experts speak. The people who have expertise in that, I will let them share. But there are so many healing herbs here to help you feel, to ensure that you feel you are healthy. yeah, there's so many healing herbs here to ensure that you are healthy. Bitters. Bitters is one of them. And it's it's as it sounds. It's bitter. So what this is a bush or like leaves, and you boil it for tea, and then you drink it. And it tastes bitter, as the name suggests, but the tea is very good for helping you when you're sick. Like at the beginning of 2020, I swear at the beginning of 2020, my husband and I had COVID. I swear. We had some of those symptoms for COVID. So what happened is we were in Canada at the time and we were with my family, but we were sick. And then my husband was actually sick. Now my husband is a Jamaican, and he is like the kind of, I don't know, you'll find a lot of Jamaican men have a very strong immune system. A lot of Jamaicans have very strong immune systems. So he especially has a very strong immune system. This man doesn't get sick. Like, I could be sick and we sleep in the same bed and I'm sick as a dog. That man, he's not getting sick. I will be sick and he will not get sick. But he was sick in 2020. He was sick as a dog. He was quite sick. But the thing is that we still had some bitters at that time from our trip to Jamaica. Like I think my mom still had some bitters. So all we did was we boiled that and we drank it. And we drank it so much so that it didn't taste bitter anymore. It actually tastes like water. Like, that's how much we drank those bitters. And it helped kick whatever it was out of our system. As I said, I think it was COVID, because around that time, that is when COVID was spreading, and obviously no one knew what it really was at that time. But it kicked whatever it was out of our system. And then anytime I pretty much get sick, I'm looking for some bitters. But the thing is, about living in Jamaica, as I said, is that there are just so many like herbs and plants here for your health. Sursi tea is another one that is good to drink. Now, I don't exactly remember what it does. I think it's something about purifying the blood. I don't know. If you know, leave it in the comments, please. But then there's also moringa. I love moringa. And I don't remember what it does. I think it does something for hormones. I think it helps something for hormones. I actually got to look for some moringa, because I haven't had it yet since I've been back, but I love that so much. But I know moringa is very helpful. And then there's fever grass or lemongrass. I feel like when I was sick, because I was sick here earlier this year, I did have some fever grass because I didn't have any bitters. I didn't have any moringa. All we had was fever grass because it grows in the backyard. And I find that really helped. The fever grass really helped when I was sick too. But anyway, as I said, I will let the people with the expertise do the actual talking when I interview them. But my point here is that there are like a variety of herbs that have healing properties. And I love that living here gives me access to those things. Because you see, if I still lived in Canada, like it would be so much more difficult to get access to those things. As opposed to here, it just like grows in abundance, right? It's so much more easy to be healthy while you are here. Sorry, y'all, I had to switch locations because Heavy Bear is tired. So, but moving on, the next thing that I love, and this is probably more exclusive to me, but the next thing that I love about Jamaica is that I have access for free to fresh seafood. Like, it literally doesn't cost us anything. I mean, it costs my husband time because like he actually goes out and spear fishes. So he will go out, he has a spear gun and everything, and he will go and catch the fish, and go and catch, go catch us some seafood. But I have access to that here. And I know in Ontario, I never would have had access to this, and certainly so much of it, without having to pay, a lot of money for it. And I mean, literally almost every single day I'm eating fish. Right now in our fridge, what we had today was we had mackerel, which I didn't know. Mackerel has no business being so delicious. I had no idea mackerel was that delicious. Like fresh mackerel, not like mackerel in the can, like the one in the can with tomato sauce, like freshly caught mackerel. I had no idea it was so delicious. But we have a whole variety, like he catches a whole variety of fish. So we've had like snapper, parrot, grunfish, goatfish, just like a whole bunch. I usually don't even really ask. I just season the fish and then he cooks them and then we eat. I don't really ask questions. I'm just like, hey, we got fish. We're eating fish. But I really love it. In fact, my favorites, are barracuda, tarrapan, and mackerel, right? Mackerel has now been added to the list. And these are my favorites because they don't really have a lot of bone. You see, when you eat fish, sometimes you have to be very careful because, you know, it usually has like a lot of bones embedded throughout the fish. So you have to be careful when you eat it to make sure, you know, you're not juking up your mouth and stuff. But these fishes tend to have larger bones, so it makes it easier to not, you know, it makes it easier and I don't have to worry about that I'm like accidentally gonna swallow a bone or something. I could more easily avoid the bones or like feel for a bone and just put it to the side. Now I know for barracuda, some people are kind of wary of that because it can be poisonous under certain circumstances, but not all barracuda are poisonous. I mean, I eat barracuda all the time. We're fine. We have not been poisoned. And then the fishermen do have a way to determine whether a barracuda is poisonous or not. So yeah, we eat that all the time. And as I said, it's not just the fish, okay? We also get lobster. During lobster season, my husband will go catch like a whole bunch of lobster. I love lobster. I love, love, love lobster. And I know in Ontario that would be hella expensive. Lobster is hella expensive out there. And then we do also eat crab. I'm not really a fan of crab because I don't really like feeling like I have to fight for my food. Like with the crab, you have to, you know, you have to bite it and then you have to like use your fork and like try and take out all the meat out of it. Or, you know, you have to like suck the meat out of it and you have to like suck so hard sometimes. I'm like, no, I can't bother fighting for my food like that. I'm like, hey, if there's a crab, my husband can have it. I don't want to fight for my life trying to get some food. But the point is, okay, of all of this, I am pretty much unintentionally pescatarian at this point, which I don't mind. I really don't mind. I could eat fish literally every single day and never get tired of it. So pro tip, okay, to people who are looking to date, especially women, if you find yourself a fisherman, you can live that life too. Okay, but now my last point I'm going to make about what I really love about Jamaica is the people. So I mean, you're probably going to notice this when you're here, but like a lot of Jamaicans are generally like very chill, very easygoing, they're very friendly. And then it also seems a lot of Jamaicans have like a killer sense of humor. Like they will just make you laugh so much. Even the kids will make you laugh. I mean, kids already have no filter. But I guess that them being kids mixed with just kind of how Jamaicans are, things can be even funnier. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So my husband and I used to watch this little 10-year-old girl who lived down the road. I called her my little best friend, but so one evening we're watching her, but then my husband had to go out, so it was just her and I here in the evening, and then I'm there, you know, cleaning up, and she wants to help me. Okay, so we're both cleaning. But then at the end, when we were done cleaning, my girl looked at me and she's like, you see, this is the reason why girls should live alone, because when we clean the place one time, it stays clean. Like, what? I'm like, if anyone's messy, it's me. My husband's not that messy. It was just very funny. I'm like, where did she get that from? What indicated to her that? Anyway, this is what I mean, but like, they'll just say things to make you laugh. And then I'll give another example. Actually, this is more mortifying than funny, but I think you guys will find it funny, so I'm going to share the story. So my husband's niece, she's like 5, and she came over for my birthday, and you know, it was dinner time, so like we shared out her food. So I'm giving her food now, and she's there looking at me and looking at the food and frowning like she's disappointed and asking why she got such little food. And I'm like, but look at you, like you're little and nothing. Where are you going to put it? Like, okay, eat your food first. And then if you're still hungry, you can come back and get more food. But my girl did not like that answer. She did not like that answer. So instead, what she did is she looked at me and then she yelled, "Look on your belly." And she took her little hand and grabbed my belly and shook it. Y'all, so do you know I started Taibo that week? Because I'm like, I cannot have a little girl reaching out her little hand shaking my belly like that. I can't. I don't know if my in-laws heard. I don't know if anyone else heard. I asked my husband. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hear anything. So I think everyone was just kind of focused on everything else. But like, I wasn't trying to make fun of her. Like, I wasn't trying to make fun of her being little. I'm just saying, hey, like, eat what you have first and then come back. I don't want to give you food and then you can't finish it. But then my girl obviously looked at me and told me, well, I have too much space for food. So this is what I mean by like, they'll just, I think the humor is just very candid. I think that's what it is. It's very candid. But it's not even just like the kids and stuff, like just even random people on the street. You'll find sometimes random people on the street, you talk to them and then they say something and they just make you laugh. Like it's very funny. But another thing, it's not just the humor that I love. Another thing that I love about the people here is that they are very helpful and very kind a lot of the time, right? Just generally, Jamaicans are very helpful and very kind. One time when I came back to visit, I was wearing some makeup, and I should have known better, because like Jamaica being hot, like I literally stopped wearing makeup because I moved here, because it's just, I don't know how people wear makeup here. It's just so hot. Like I'm wearing makeup now to film this, but I'm filming this at night. I'm not filming this in the middle of the day when it's so hot. Anyway, so the point was I was wearing makeup. I was wearing Fenty, and I don't know if I got like a bad batch or something, but it's like the makeup was cracking on my face. It was just not looking good. So my husband and I went to KFC, and while he was waiting in line, I was like, you know what? This is going to take a while. So while you're waiting in line, I will go and try and fix my face. So I went to the washroom, and I don't know if it was the cheap toilet paper. Maybe it was the makeup mixed with the cheap toilet paper. I don't know. But like I wet my face, and I tried to use the paper to wipe my face, and then the makeup started smearing, and it was like white and brown. Like it looked like I put brown glue or something on my face. It was terrible. It was terrible. So like I'm in the washroom, I'm freaking out, I'm having a hard time, I'm sweaty, I'm wet because of the water, and I'm just like really trying. And then the toilet paper, because I talked about the toilet paper being so cheap in my frustration video, it kept like crumbling on my face as well. I was really struggling. But then as I'm there, this Jamaican lady looked at me, and she reached into her purse and took out her powder makeup and fixed my face for me. Like when I tell you that people are just nice, they're kind, and she just, as she was fixing my face, she was talking to me, telling me whatever products to use or not use or something. She's just very kind, right? So this is what I mean. Another time, because it's not just there, a whole bunch of different times people have been very nice, very kind. Another time I went to a haberdashery here. A haberdashery is just like a little shop. So I was considering getting a crochet hook. I don't have one to show you, but the point is, I think I was looking for a little crochet hook, because that's when my husband just got locks, and I was considering tightening them myself, but the thing is I didn't know how to do it. And I don't know who I was talking to, I don't know how this subject came up, but I mentioned it in passing or something, and then this Jamaican lady was there, and she has locks, and then she's like, oh no, tightening the locks is easy. No, it's all right, I can show you. And she literally stood there and took the time. She took the crochet hook and like showed me the direction. She literally took the time to show me how I'm supposed to tighten locks with a crochet hook. Like just very, very nice, very kind, very helpful, very giving. I find Jamaicans to just be like this in general. I mean, like, yes, there are miserable people, okay? There are miserable people everywhere. There are rude people everywhere. That's not just, Jamaica. It's everywhere, even in Canada, because people are like, oh, I guess Canadians, have a stereotype for being nice. So I hear. But, like, I know a lot of Canadians who are rude and miserable and everything. But as I said, there's miserable and rude people everywhere. But I just find when I come here, like a lot of Jamaicans are very welcoming, very warm, very nice, very pleasant, right? If you say good morning to somebody, they're going to say good morning back, right? If you say have a good day, they usually say you too, like stuff like that, just very nice. Now on another note, okay, something else that I do love about Jamaicans is how they love, okay? Like, or the, in terms of romantic love, the way they express it, I find that it's different than in places like Canada. Or it's different than what I'm used to. I mean, I'm also very biased, considering I have a Jamaican husband who snatched my heart from my chest. So there's that too. And I will be creating a dating series, okay? The dating series is coming out. It is scheduled to come out later. I think after this series. I don't know. I think it's after this series it's scheduled to come out. But Jamaicans are they're very loving people, right? And as a heterosexual woman here, like I have felt very valued and very desired by men here, especially as a Black woman or Negro woman, right? Like in Canada is because Canada is full of white people, and then because of that, there are those white standards of beauty. Honestly, growing up, a lot of time I felt very ugly, right? I mean, like, you know, if I use a dating app, you know, I would get some interest. But in person, I don't know, a lot of guys just barely looked my way. Like, it didn't seem like I interested a lot of them. And then to make matters worse, okay, a lot of the black men in Canada I find are kind of weird. Not all of them, right? But like, what I mean is that a lot of them made it very clear that my skin tone was not their preference, right? Especially if they're like, you know, a light-skinned pretty boy, because, you know, you got that proximity to whiteness because he's light. So I guess he's seen as more attractive to a whole bunch of people because of those white beauty standards. And because of that, you know, it's easier for him to have options from a variety of races, not just black. But even if he was like my skin tone or darker, either way, the dating pool, it still benefits him because in majority white countries, black means masculine, even for women, which is a problem. But you know, a lot of heterosexual women, they're generally going to want a masculine man. So just even, you know, a man's skin tone alone can hint that he is more masculine, right? Now, all that said, when I was in Canada and I was, you know, growing up and I was dating and everything, I listened to a lot of black men make it very, very clear that, you know, they want a woman who doesn't look like me, who doesn't look like us. And they either showed that by only dating women who didn't look like them, or they said it very explicitly. Like they would literally say, oh, they want a woman with light eyes or lighter skin or with this type of texture hair, and they don't want to run their hand through a woman's hair and it get caught in a trap, like stuff like that. Which I mean, like, okay, even if a black woman isn't wearing weave, unless she literally damages her hair by straightening it with perm or with a hot iron or with a hot comb, like there is no running your hands through our hair. Our hair is not conducive for that. Black women's hair is generally not conducive for running your fingers through it, right? So that was already just, it just didn't sound good. And I heard that from men in church too. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, the men were just weird. But the point is, okay, to a lot of black men in places like Canada, black women are not enough, right? In fact, I actually said at one point, you can ask my family this because they will vouch, but I actually said at one point that I don't want no light-skinned pretty boy because of things like this. And guess who I married, y'all? Guess who I married? So anyway, to come here, right, to a country where the majority of people look like me, and then the women who look like me are the standard and are so loved, like, it was just very refreshing. And it still is refreshing to just go out and be surrounded by people who look like me, who have my hairstyle or wear, you know, natural hairstyles, have their natural hair on display. Like, it's just very refreshing, very validating. But just going back to the dating thing, so another thing that I find is that I feel as though Jamaicans express romantic love differently, at least the men, right? Because I've never dated a Jamaican woman. I'm not a lesbian. I've never dated a Jamaican woman. And I think I am going to talk about this a bit more in my dating series. But I mention the way Jamaican men express love because, I don't know, compared to Canadian men, I just find Canadian men weird, man. Like, a lot of them just weird. Especially the Canadian men with like a Jamaican background, or like who were born in Jamaica but moved to Canada. They just act weird. Like, I think it's because of their Jamaican background. It's like they think they're the hottest thing since sliced bread, and because of their background alone, they think that just because their background is Jamaican, that makes them inherently desirable, which I guess they're not really wrong, right? Jamaicans are very attractive and desirable people, and not necessarily wrong, but like the way they go about it and how bossy they are about that is such a turnoff. And then, you know, they expect women to like chase them or do all the work in a relationship. And then it's like I don't know. It's like they also draw out exclusivity. Like you have to be wondering as a woman, you have to be wondering like, what the hell are we? What is this? What is this situationship that we have going on? But then you can't be too forward asking them that because you'll scare them away. So they're like not intentional. They're kind of wishy-washy. They draw things out. And then the Jamaican men who move to Canada or move to places like Canada, they just seem to turn fool. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe they embed themselves in the culture or something and then they take up those habits. I don't know. They just go on like they don't have sense. Like, just, I'm flabbergasted. My gasteds were flabbered. Like, it was just very weird. Because of all of that, right? I also said that I would not date a Jamaican man because of my experiences with Jamaican men or men with Jamaican backgrounds in Canada. I said I don't want to date no light-skinned pretty boy, and I said I don't want to be with a Jamaican man. And who did I end up with, y'all? You know what I should have said? I should have said that I don't want $1 million because since the things I don't want kept just showing up, I should have said I don't want $1 million so I could get that too. But anyway, you see Jamaican men, okay, Jamaican men who live in Jamaica, these men are different. I don't know, they're just different. Like they're very forward, I have found them very forward generally, very expressive. They're not ashamed to say that, they're with someone. They're not afraid to show their partner to the world. They're not embarrassed of their partner, embarrassed to be with somebody. They are quick to want exclusivity, and they are very intentional. I have found them to be intentional. Like it's clear when I say intentional, it's like clear what their intentions are from the get-go. Like when I was dating Jamaican men, I never had to wonder like, oh, what does this guy actually think about me? No, like I knew what he thought about me. If he just wanted like, I don't know, a bed romp or something, like it was just very clear. Or if he wanted to get to know me seriously, it was very clear. They were very intentional with me from the get-go. And Jamaican men love black women. I mean, they love women in general. I'll say that. If you're a woman and you come to Jamaica, you will be loved on. If that's what you want, you will be loved on. But they do love black women. It's not like black women. You see what I explained about like how weird some Canadian men are and how being a black woman is not enough for them? You're not going to find that in Jamaica. So the experience of dating here, when I was dating, it was very refreshing and very validating for me. Okay, so that is it in a nutshell. This was not a nutshell. This was a lot. But these are some of the things that I really, really love about Jamaica and like why I'm here, why I love Jamaica so much. And I go to bat for Jamaica. I just love Jamaica so much. But that is it. So I do hope that you found this video and this short series very helpful or informative or at least entertaining. If you did, do let me know, hit that like button to let me know. But I also want to hear from you, okay? If you're a Jamaican or living here, let's say you moved here, right? What do you love about Jamaica? If you're a Jamaican, what do you love about Jamaica? Or if you're thinking of moving here, what is drawing you to Jamaica? Leave it in the comments and let me know. Let's have a discussion. I'd love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are. And if you are planning to move here, okay, please don't leave without grabbing your freebies, okay? I created these things, like I didn't hire somebody to create them. I created these freebies specifically to help give you a head start on things like what to bring, what to prep, what to expect when you're over here, things like that. So the link for those things will be in the comments and in the description. And if you want even more support outside of like my freebies and my free videos, I've created 2 resources to help your transition to Jamaica go smoother, like if you're planning to move here. So the first is my Moving to Jamaica guide. So as of right now, me filming this video, the guide is not done. It is available for pre-order for $10. I do have like most of the content done. But I want to, polish it up, make it pretty for you guys and everything. So it's available for pre-order right now for $10. When you look at the link, you're actually going to see a table of contents, and the table of contents is going to show you kind of what you can expect to see in the guide. I'm hoping I can add a little bit more too, but it's available for pre-order for $10. So get that if you're interested. And also the second thing is the Rooted in Yard community, the Rooted in Yard membership, I should say. So this is a supportive place where it's going to have live video chat. So, you know, you can come in and ask me questions live, or we can just like vibe together and build a community. There will also be weekly reflection prompts. You will have access to a private community to connect with others who are going on this journey as well. And you will get early access to all of my content if you don't want to wait, you know, for the scheduled videos to come out. Okay, so you will find the links to everything in the description and in the comments. So that is it. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming next. And I will see you in the next one.